Welcome back, folks, for Thursday's video from Zandvoort. Hope you're all well today. Thanks again for some feedback and comments on Facebook and YouTube and whatever on yesterday's video. Very kind of you guys to take the time to do that. What I'm going to do today is, first off, I'm going to have a bit of a recap of last night's GT4 race. And I've edited down a little video from my car, trying to take out some of the laps where there wasn't too much happening and just focusing on where there's a bit of action. However, before we have a look at the race, we need to talk about qualifying and my major mistake there. So here I am, happily buzzing around in my qualifying laps, and I'm glancing up at the leaderboard and I'm thinking, my God, I'm on pole position. What's going on here? All these laps and time I was spending at Zandvoort have really paid off, and I'm looking at some of the names below me, like Mr. Van Brabant and Novosi and Mr. Eklund and Mr. Bird. I'm thinking, wow, they're slower than me. This is unbelievable. And then slowly but surely the sad reality of the fact that I've forgotten to change my my car from GT3 to GT4 slowly dawns on me, and I realise, oh no, it's no wonder I'm fast here, and I can see people in the comments starting to type, Andy, I think you're in the wrong car. So not good at all. So of course I had to come flying out the server, change my car, get back in with I think about 10 minutes to go, and then try and qualify in my proper GT4 AMG Merc. So this is me sliding off the track in total embarrassment and slinking off. So here we are, start of the race. I have tried to edit it down a little bit so you don't have to sit through the whole thing if you don't want to. But certain drivers feature quite heavily here. Jeremy, Uwe, Mr. Pollitt, Mr. Heert, De Jong as well. So I hope you enjoy this. I'll do a little bit of commentary over what happened. So here we are, setting off. Somebody's slow to start moving there. Rolling down the road for the rolling start, onto the start-finish straight. I've got Jeremy right in front of me here. Everybody trying to keep their places on the grid. A little bit difficult. People are moving fast, moving slow. And there's the green light and we're off. So down to the first corner. And this is where I've got my first apology to make. Jeremy, I am so sorry for that little tap. Luckily, it didn't send you or me off. So, no harm, no foul. There's a few cars go off here at this corner in the first lap, which moves me up a few places. I'm still right with Jeremy. Having a good battle. I've got Uwe right behind me as well. Now he's going to factor quite strongly in my race, as you'll see. He's pressuring me already. I'm closing up on Jeremy, I just can't get past him, but it's only the first lap. Now we have a little bit of contact there with Yui. Not quite sure what happened there, but it managed to let him slip through. And down to the chicane. So, a semi-eventful first lap. Thankfully nobody's come off too badly from it, a few little taps here and there. And on to the second lap. So I've got Yui and Jeremy just ahead of me, and I've got Mr. Allen just behind me. And we're all trying to settle down into a bit of a rhythm now. So we fast forwarded a little bit here because we were all kind of holding station there for a while. A few cars closing up. I'm starting to try and pressure Yui a little bit in front, see if I can force him into making a mistake. So coming onto the start finish, and I'm trying to pressure Yui into making a mistake. Great shot with all the cars going down the start finish straight there. And as he goes into turn one, just slightly off camera, he runs wide. So he's gone off and allowed me to slip through. So now I'm chasing Jeremy. Let's see if I can close the gap on him. I love the black livery of his car, it looks superb. He's a quick driver though. He's I'm not really closing the gap too much just now. And then coming round here, unsighted to me, round this next corner I think, as we're dueling away. A car has spun and I caught it on the side. So let's let Jeremy slip away a little bit more into the distance and allowed Yui to catch up on me. Okay, I've cut out another chunk of video where there wasn't too much happening, so we've jumped forward in time a little bit, and Yui is coming back at me a bit more, and some back markers are starting to come into the picture, which makes things interesting. So coming down the start finish again to start a new lap. And I managed to get it all wrong and go off the circuit and back on. So that's let Yui close right up on me again. And I have a back marker right in front of me. So we're getting some good racing now. He's right on my tail. You can see my car is, fair to say, not quite showroom condition anymore. After a couple of little taps here and there. Oh, I beg your pardon, it's not a back marker. Mr. De Jong. Apologies, sir. We are fighting for position. We've got Mr. De Jong ahead, Yui just behind me, and was that Chris Hurst coming through now? I think it is. Yeah. Mr. Heort behind me now. I think started well down. I think he maybe started from the pit lane actually. So he's done really well to fight his way up. And he's pressuring me. Something must have happened to Jeremy because he slipped right down to 19th. So I'm not sure what happened to him. So yeah, Mr. Hearst, very good driver. He's right over my back here, keeping the pressure on. I can tell he's a faster driver than me, so I think coming up to the not this corner, maybe the next one, I just ease off and decide to let him through on the inside because I can tell he's faster. And I'll just slip in behind him and carry on my fight with Yui. I do get a good exit from the corner here, so although I've let him pass, I'm giving him a little fight down here, but I know he's going to get ahead. Coming down to the chicane, I'm not going to try anything fancy there. So through he goes. So he's going to disappear off into the distance, and I'm going to try and keep Yui behind me again. So somebody's gone off in front of us there, into the wall, and suddenly we seem to be upon a real collection of cars, so I'm not sure if this is back markers or people fighting for position, but I have a feeling it's back markers. I'm pretty sure they start to let us past. So this is great, you know, we're fighting, but we've got back markers to contend with as well, so I can get right on Mr. Hurst's back again, but I don't think I'm going to be quick enough. This is great racing, guys, you know. Much respect, people moving out the way, giving us room. Yep, he's too quick for me, I think. In the background, Ui's got through. And I think I can see Mr. Pollitt coming into the equation as well, back there maybe. So you can see in the background that Ui is about to be overtaken by Chris Holmes, I think it is. Yep, so now Mr. Holmes is after me. And that looks like Jeremy in the background as well, fighting back from whatever incident he had. Ui goes off at the chicane there in the background. Gets back on safely though. So round to start a new lap with Mr. Holmes piling on the pressure. And you can see Mr. Heort up ahead there, maintaining the gap to myself. Doing some good racing again. He's definitely closing in on me. Very close. But fair and square. I'll just tuck in behind him now. Oh, my fault completely. Got my braking point wrong, and you can see that I'd slowed down and made sure that he got back in front. There's no way I'm going to try and capitalise on an incident like that, which is my fault completely, so sorry about that, Mr. Holmes. Hopefully you didn't take too much damage. And he scampers off into the distance. I don't blame him. So I've skipped ahead again, because there was a bit where I was basically just me on the circuit. So now Uwe has caught up a little bit with me again. So we're resuming our battle. Managed to get up to 13th by this point, so I'm pretty happy with that, considering I started about 23rd. Just shows that if you try and avoid trouble, certainly in the first couple of laps, you'll pick up places, and once the field spreads out a little bit, you'll get some good racing going. So here's Yui looking pretty threatening now. Piling the pressure on, and I make a mistake and go off, which allows him to slip through. Fair and square, my friend. You put the pressure on, and you got the result. So I fast forwarded again. Myself and Yui were pretty much static, just me behind him. Kept the gap pretty standard for a wee while there, but we've now been joined by, I think it's Mr. Pollitt. So we've got a kind of three-way battle going here. And he's piling the pressure on me, without a doubt. Raiding the curb there, that's not a great idea. So again, good respectful racing. He seems to have found an extra gear, I think. He's kind of pulling away a little bit. He's all over my back now. Great driving. Down to the chicane. Who's going to be brave? None of us, I think. start another lap. The three of us very close together though. This is a great battle. I really enjoyed this last night. Side by side with UE there. I have a feeling that we're very evenly matched, so I think we'll be seeing more of each other regardless of GT3 or GT4, but we'll maybe be around the same point on the grid. Now, UE, when that happened, I thought I'd tapped UE, but looking at the replay, I think he just got a tyre on the grass and spun. So I slowed down to be the gentleman to let him go again, because I felt I'd possibly taken him off. And of course, I let Mr. Pollitt through, which I didn't need to do. In retrospect, I don't think it was my fault at all. I think UE just, as I say, got a tyre on the grass and spun. So anyway, all's fair in love and war in racing. We had a great fight during the race, and I'm still quite happy with my finish there. That was on the last lap, I'm pretty sure. Yep, you can see the checkered flag there. So great race, UE. Sorry about that spin. That was a shame for you. But I look forward to seeing you on the circuit again. So here we are, just pulling in to have a breather and a beer. So I hope you enjoyed that little kind of potted version of last night's GT4 race. Absolutely great fun I had. Really enjoyed the racing, especially with you guys, Mr. Holmes, Pollitt, UE, Jeremy, Mr. Hiort and Mr. De Jong. Really enjoyed our little spats there, so here's to the next one. So what I plan to do, just about coming up to lunchtime again, where I am, so focus is back on GT3 in today's video, and especially since it's a warm-up race tonight, again at 7 o'clock UK time, so 30-minute qualifying, 30-minute race, and I want to get a few laps in and work on the setup that I started on Monday and Tuesday. And I also, I'm going to do that before lunch. I'm going to go out and just have a few laps, and I'll let you know if I've made any little tweaks to my setup and my fuel loads. And then I'm going to break for lunch, and then after lunch I'm going to chat about this little development that I kind of teased earlier in the week. And it's GT3 related, so off to the track and back in a wee while to report on any setup changes. Cheers for now. Okay guys, so back from lunch, and just a little recap on what my best lap time was this week in my GT3 Ferrari 488 was a 140.089. So, looking to still get into that elusive 130s. So I went out for a wee while and just tried my last setup. Everything seems pretty good. The tyres, I've made sure I'm on brake pad 1. I think I've got my fuel loads right. So I'm not really sure I can better that time by any significant amount. However, Mark Pocock, thank you Mark, offered me a Ferrari setup on Discord chat the other day, and I thought, well, this will be interesting. If I can push my own setup as far as I can go and my own abilities, and then I just load in Mark's setup that he sent me, and what can we do with that? You know, will I suddenly be quicker? Will I be the same? Will I be slower? If I was quicker, is it going to be a placebo effect? Who knows? So that's exactly what I did after lunch. Is I fired up the sim, immediately loaded Mark's setup, which I notice is really for a race because it had sort of 65 litres of fuel. So I thought I would take that down to 20 litres and just try and do a few laps and see what happened. So I've got a couple of videos of a lap to show you. I've got one TV camera view and one straight from the bumper. It's the same lap, but just slightly different views, so as you can see my braking points and my apexes and everything a little bit better. So I'm going to show you the videos, and then I'm going to tell you what the time was. Quite interesting. Okay, here they come. Okay, so here's the first video, the sort of TV replay coming onto the lap. I could immediately feel a difference with Mark's setup. The car felt a little bit more planted, a little bit more pointy. Felt a lot faster through this section, definitely. I had more confidence to keep the foot down, and I think I braked a little bit later coming into this corner. The next two corners I was able to take much smoother than I had on my setup. Down to the hairpin. I was braking at pretty much the same point as I was with my setup, but again, the car felt nice and stable. I was able to ride the curbing without any problem there. Round the last couple of bends. And coming down over the line. Now here's exactly the same lap, but from the bumper cam view, just so you can hopefully see my braking points a bit easier. You can see I'm taking slightly different lines, a little bit more confidence. Carry a little bit more speed through here. Felt nice and planted through this fast sweeping section. Again, braking a little bit later than I normally brake for this corner. Managed to keep the power on right the way through, hopefully. These two corners, much better going through them. This one and this one I thought I was better. Much the same here. Hugging that inside curbing. Down to the chicane, braking at my usual point, possibly riding the curbs a little bit more, going through the chicane. Nice and planted. Round the final two corners and down onto the start-finish straight. So the times then, how did that work out? Well, remembering as I said, my fastest lap on my own setup was a 1:40.089. And when I went out early with Mark's, I only did about 10 laps. I got a 1:40.473 and then a 1:40.251. and that's with about 20 litres of fuel. So after 10 laps, quite impressive. I've not beaten my own time, but I reckon with a few more, a good half hour, maybe an hour, I'm pretty sure I could. So I'm maybe going to try that this afternoon before tonight's GT3 Warm Up Race. So thanks again, Mark, for that setup. Very interesting. As I say, I don't know whether it's down to driving skill, your setup, placebo effect, maybe a little mixture of all three, eh? But we'll see. I'll keep plugging away with it, and who knows, I might even use it on Saturday night. So that's today's video, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. A little recap of last night's GT4 race, which I really enjoyed. A few little more progressions on my own setup today for GT3, and trying out Mark's setup, which he kindly sent me. That's the video for today, folks. See you tomorrow.